If I call my Atafo, if I say, what does he do? There's something you will mention. Shey Vodi, that's the king of kaftan, Fashion brought us together. It was something I was wearing that she saw. At some point, she came to meet me to teach her.
From teacher to
life teacher. My final year, I gave myself E all through in all my courses. I was like, even if I had E all through, I would still be in I eventually even won the best designer while I was in school. It will get to a stage, the business world will be unforgiving. Whatever I want to do, there's a time to start and there's a time to perfect your craft. You are at the beginning stage and you want Vodi to be your mentor, you want your mentor to be your mentor. Trust me, there's somebody accessible at any stage you are. I just have to go into the studio to produce one song and I can sell that song to 10 million people. For fashion, I have to produce 10 million clothes to serve 10 million people. We are managing, we are fighting, we are sourcing for the best amongst everything. So there's a lot to milk in the fashion industry. It was not just coming out the way I wanted, and I had to question what is wrong? Am I sure this is what God called me into? God, you have to start again. If you have the means, go to it.
Welcome to the podcast. Olanrewaju, Sevunteen Tailored.
Thank you, boss.
Awesome, how are you doing?
I'm good, I'm fine.
You've been doing fashion design for quite a while.
Yeah, I think 2015 thereabouts, yeah.
That's about a decade.
By the grace of God. It's worth celebrating.
Yeah, it's worth. Awesome. I would love to know how you started, how you got into the world of fashion designing. Were they influences from maybe your background, people around you, that if you'd have diverted to anything other than what you studied in school, why was it fashion designing?
My dad was a fashion designer. Well, it had no influence, right? My mom was also a fashion designer.
Interesting.
So I think my dad got into fashion before my mom, I think so, yeah. But my mom's shop was my go-to place for, amending my school uniforms back in secondary school. So, I had basic idea of sewing. Even before I went into fashion, I could sew, right? But what pushed me, or what propelled me to learn fashion was during my IT. I didn't get a good placement. I was looking for placement here and there. I couldn't find. So, I just had to do something and venture into something. So then I went into fashion. Although my cousin and some people I knew back then, they were into fashion. It's a creative art, So I just said, let me just go into this, and here we are.
Your IT period. So what was it like, not finding a place and then deciding to do something?
I think that was 2014. We all go for industrial training and the likes, and you're hearing gist from your other friends. I've gotten a placement. How much are they paying you? So amount. How much is someone paying? So amount. I'm just here. Nothing,
Figure out the place. You've not gotten one.
And I eventually got one, but I wasn't paid. In fact, they even advised me not to be coming every day because since they're not paying me, so I had to just utilize that time to venture into this. And I thank God I did.
I would want to guess that probably because you already had that background knowledge of knowing how to sew, you now decided to now explore
the world of fashion, yes.
Yeah, but what was that period like? Did you have to now go and get your machine? Were you working from somebody's shop?
My mom had she quitted fashion before I even learned fashion. So
what of your dad? Did he quit also?
No, long ago. My dad was into fashion business, and he stopped like a long time before my mom even went into fashion, right? Then talking about the things I needed to start, I already have them because the leftover stuff from my mom, everything just did, so I could just move forward from there.
Fashion business for your dad. Was he not sewing, or what is the business part?
My dad was a fashion designer, and in this sense, I think majorly what he used to do then was get jobs from companies. Maybe they want to make gloves, they want to make uniforms and the like. So I think he was into that. I didn't really have a clear. Maybe I'll go and ask when I get home. But I didn't really have a clear glimpse of what he was in. But I knew he was into sewing business, fashion business, collecting jobs from companies and the like. So before my mom went into fashion design,
I think that's also an interesting place to also be in. I know that there are still people that do that.
Probably they're not even into couture at all.
Into
just mass production of gloves, mass production of abayas and the like.
And some of them will get the projects and maybe look for fashion houses to do the work itself. While they'll just get their own cut for being the person that gets the job. Interesting. From that point, when instead of going for having your COS in a proper like way normal people do, so you now like started your own exploration of fashion designing. So from that point to when you left school, what was it like? Did you continue to sew in school? Did you stop again? When did you now realize that, okay, I think there is something in this?
I forgot to mention, I learned it for just 5 months plus. Yeah, in a proper, I didn't go to, I did apprenticeship, not studentship, as we have now. So I got dirty. I had to learn from the trenches of the trenches. Yeah. So I continued while I was in school. I eventually even won the best designer while I was in school. Coming back from IT, that was 400 level second semester. So I had just 400 level second semester and 500 level. And I mean, thank God my academics were already doing well. Because if I had, I am not really someone who can gather a lot and do. I think I do better when I pick one thing per time.
Focus and do it very well.
Some people can do that. Me, I do one thing and I try to do it excellently well per time. So combining school with fashion, I think that was the first time I dipped academically. Thank God I had the foundation. So it wasn't really, in fact, my final year, I gave myself E all through in all my courses. I was like, even if I had E all through, okay, I will still be in 2-1.
You not do too bad like that.
I will still be in 2-1, like, correct. So that was it for me. I just started fashion, sewing. I think there was one lecturer I used to make clothes for too, sewing for my fellow students, fashion shows, as little as it was then, or as they were then. I mean, those are the things that still turned out to shape my idea of fashion now. I mean, gave me a ground that, okay, it is possible. You can use this as a first alternative, not even a second alternative. And here we are today.
It's been an interesting journey so far. I'll take you back to the first piece of clothing that you made that you were paid for. What was it like? What was it for?
Which clothes? The one I remember was for a friend of mine. I think he gave me a lace fabric. I even made a mistake, Seth. So the thing is, I learned suit making. I didn't learn any other thing.
That's that 5-month period that you talked about.
I didn't learn any other thing. Every other thing that I'm doing today, I taught myself, right? So it was all trial by error. And I try to always tell people, when it will get to a stage, the business world will be unforgiving. Imagine me making such mistakes now.
That would be
that's going to be detrimental to my business. So brand. I could afford to make those mistakes back then. I was still in school. Who they want drag? They can't drag me online. I didn't even, so whatever I want to do, there's a time to start and there's a time to perfect your craft. Do you understand? So my first outfit I did for myself, right? But I did for a friend of mine. In fact, I think I swapped. I made a mistake in cutting the back line, the back neck. I think I made it too deep. But thank God it gave me excess fabric. So I just used the remaining to I thought came out well, like, I liked it, but thank God there was excess fabric. If not, I didn't know what I would have said. So, and a couple of mistakes like that. I mean, for something I didn't have to, I learned fashion, but not that aspect of fashion. So, I mean, a couple of mistakes. Getting better, a lot of YouTube videos, checking, drafting. And I forgot to mention, so I was also good in drawing. I draw realistic drawing. Back then, I don't think I can now. I'm not so sure I can, but I drew my dad, I drew myself, my brother, and everything. So even in my 100 level days, we did a bit of engineering drawing. I got A's in the 2 engineering drawings. So those really helped me in fashion, honestly speaking. The interpenetration, how you know that, okay, this is how you want it to look on 3D, how to draft it on 2D, which is pattern drafting. So, I mean, all of those, helped me.
Having to learn from the trenches of the trenches and then owning your craft to now become what you are now, becoming like very excellent, where you can deliver quality stuff for clients, for brands, for a young person that desires that I want to become a very great fashion designer. This is someone that wants to learn now. What pathway should they go to? Should they look for a school where they can learn 5 months suit making or learn trad?
Anybody that wants to learn fashion, if it's someone close to me, So it doesn't come out like a discouragement. I would ask, are you ready to cry on some days?
Sure.
Trust me, there are some days I'll be like, am I sure this is what God called me into, when things are not matching, So if you are sure this is what you want to do, look at every other craft too, and you are sure it's fashion
This
you
is the
want.
one you want to do.
Okay, if you have the means, go to a fashion school. But I mean, what about those that don't have the means? They have to learn from somewhere. Like I said, I also did apprenticeship. I learned through apprenticeship. So you can do apprenticeship, then try to check for videos, then make sure you have not necessarily one big mentor. Trust me, there's somebody accessible at any stage you are. There are some people I wouldn't want to even say mentor. There are some people I still advise, which I know for sure that the piece of advice I'm giving them is of good use. You understand? Not you looking for how you want. You are at the beginning stage and you want Vodi to be your mentor. You are at the beginning stage, you want your main culture to be your mentor. You know that there are people still accessible to you at just maybe a stage higher or 2 stages higher.
Yeah, you can learn.
Yeah, you can learn directly from. You understand? So I have people like that, and I also have people that also learn from me, and we are all benefiting from that ecosystem. So, but when I want to jump 2 or 3 stages or 5 stages from your stage and go and learn from, I say someone is proud or someone doesn't have your time. So, like I said, if you have the means, go to a fashion school. It gives you the leverage to network, number one. You see things from a simpler perspective. You don't have to go through the stress of breaking everything down by yourself, right? But if you don't have the means, by all means, you can opt for apprenticeship, but make sure that you upgrade, you learn a lot of videos. But I would say, make sure there's a physical tutor. Don't do online. For me, I don't know if someone will have contrary opinion, but if you want to go into fashion is a physical. It deals with physical product. You understand, and it's a job or a craft that you need physical input. So I would always advise that look for a physical tutor as much as you want to learn this thing online. The start point, you need a physical tutor.
I just love what you also said. Not trying to look for several steps ahead of saying, I want Shevodi, I want Yomi Casual, I want some of these big guys to be my mentor. But then looking for somebody just a few steps ahead of you, and as you mentioned, some of the things they will tell you become very, very valuable. And it's always great to learn from even wisdom and not just experience that having to go through the same challenges they've also overcome, and then it becomes much more easier. You talked about how chaotic this craft, or how some days you also had to say, is this what I'm really called to do, right? So is there any experience that comes readily in mind where you went through a particular challenge, maybe with a client or with a project, and maybe what you learned from going through that?
Yeah, the Nigerian fashion space is one that you learn, particularly in this part of the world, you learn from your mistakes, right? It's not like you walk into a fashion store and it is already stated out this fabric is 90% wool, 10% viscose, or 10% cotton, 90% linen. You got this fabric the last time and it didn't work out well. You know that, yes, you're not using this one again. Yeah, you got this one, you're not using this one again. So like I said, you learn from your mistakes, and there are some times that you try to, sometimes there's nothing wrong with the creativity. Sometimes the problem is implementation. And you're just making a dress or you're trying something and it's not coming out the way you want it. I've replaced a client's clothes 3 times before. No, twice. So I made the clothes 3 times. There was the first one and there were 2 replacements, right? So it was not just coming out the way I wanted. And I had to question what is wrong? But in retrospect, truth be told, there's nothing wrong with the creativity, right? Sometimes implementation can go wrong. It happens to the best of us. It happens in all industries. Some automobile company would make some vehicles and they would just recall it. Yeah, so it's good that as much as you're trying to make things as perfect, as nice, as sweet as you want to, on days that things go bad, sometimes implementation can go wrong. But just know that, okay, my creativity is intact. my sense of fashion is still intact.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just implementation, I ain't go wrong. So yeah.
And learning how to fix.
Fix it, yeah. You backtrack and fix, yeah.
Looking at your work, you know that there's very keen eye to detail, excellence. So how did you like develop that over the way? Have you had a thing for excellence? Have you had a thing for trying to stay pushing until you try and get the best quality stuff for every client you work for?
From the inception, even before fashion, I've always been a meticulous person. On some days, it's a disadvantage, actually. On some days, some things that don't really matter. You know, I'm just trying to find faults in those things. I'm always just wanting to make sure this thing is perfect, this thing is good, this thing is quality. Like, okay, I would see stuff that come from US or UK, like, now people do this one too now. So why should Nigerian clothes just be like, this
Just
one,
any
like
letter.
Swan? No, let's try to make it, if not modern, but at par with what we're seeing that people are doing from the outside. I've always been a meticulous person. I've always been someone that wants to make things perfect. I want to see things perfect, yeah.
And then as Sevunteen Tailored grows, where you now have other people, where you are mentoring, you are teaching. So how do you try to make sure that they also keep to doing something excellence? They learn that, oh, this is the culture here, this is how it is, this is how things should be done. It
is an unending journey. Trust me, we have a lot of tailors out there that you just taking your face off or your eyes off for 1 second, they will do what they feel is okay and not what they know you want, right? So it is fashion design is more like a business where you can't entirely take your eyes off the operations if you want to maintain quality. I don't mean you necessarily have to be there all the time, but there needs to be that input so that the standard doesn't drop, right? Then, you're working with, there's also a problem in the industry now because you get tailors that are not well groomed. Even the people that taught them are also not well groomed. So how do you expect that the students or the tailors will be well groomed? So you have to now retrain. They have to unlearn some things. You have to retrain, and you steadily have to, you have to keep on reminding them, oh, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this. And it's an industry where people are poaching. Everybody poaching.
Quality people.
It is like that in my industry, actually. You're with someone today and in the next few weeks, hello boss. I know just I go feel, God, you have to start again.
To now find someone and maybe train.
Before you now find someone, there are different vices in the society now. Yahoo, like I say. They feel it's quicker, and there's people want instant gratification. They want, my guy is driving Benz. I also want to drive Benz. So
it's possible.
It's also one of the things. Also, it's part of the challenges even designers are facing, generally for male tailors particularly. Yeah.
You mentioned something while you were speaking about how you always want to make sure that what you're making, if you see maybe an attire that has been made, let's say from the UK or from the US or from Italy, wherever, you want to make sure that your own standard is also very close to it, right? Which I know can be really tough, especially maybe we don't have the right equipment, we don't have the proper infrastructure. So let's talk about the quality of stuffs coming out from Lagos, from Nigeria. You know how, let's say from Abana, some shoes, some clothes, we are making them locally, but then they'll just try to slap the name of another popular brand on it so that like people can open up to buy, even though maybe quality might be okay, sometimes might not be okay. What do you think about that phase? Are we going to outgrow that phase soon? And then what's the quality of work coming out from our end compared to over there?
I think we are already at it, honestly speaking. If not for, let's say, industrialization or, let me use the word industrialization. I think we would be at par with some other fashion gods of the world, right? Nigerian fashion is really, really doing well.
Hello, sorry for the break. I know you're enjoying the episode. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please just hit the subscribe button click the like button, and also leave a comment. Share to friends and family. It goes a long way to help the channel. You can get right back into the video.
I mean, I must applaud them. We're really doing well. From the toppest to those at the middle, to those beneath, we are trying, honestly. But like you said, the quality stuff you talked about, you know, like Nigeria, for example, now we don't have this standardization. What they call this SON? Yeah, those that make sure they check the quality of stuff that come into anything comes into Nigeria. Compared to those in Italy, there's some things you can't. There's some brands you buy the fake here. You dare not wear them to, let's say, France, or wear them to some countries where they have been originally made. Yeah. So anything comes into the country, number one. So that's already a challenge. So we by ourselves, we don't have to try. We have to start testing, because I mean, looking at them physically, you might never be able to tell. So you have to start testing. The quality of wood that comes in might not be the same one that is in Italy. The quality of maybe the canvas we use for the suits might not be the same thing. You might get something today, they will say it is bail. You know, there's something that comes in, and when you buy, you're not guaranteed you will get them again. Even though you love the quality, you're not guaranteed you will get them again.
So that gives an issue of consistency.
Thank you. Yeah. So, but all in all, we are managing, we are fighting, we are sourcing for the best amongst everything. So it's a continuous fight.
Yeah, I think that's the spirit of Nigeria generally. Where the challenges will just force you to just become resilient and just do stuff, irrespective of the environment and all of that. Yeah, so you had mentioned we are doing quite well. There's the Vicky James of this world, there's the Sevunteen Tailored, the Shea Bodies that are doing really cool stuff, right? We are really growing. We've seen Afrobeat go global, right? Yeah. Our music are being played in different countries. Our artists are going out there to sell out top arenas.
World charts.
Exactly, right. Afrobeat is doing, music has done really well going global. What do you think of the fashion scene or fashion industry? Do you think that it's time for fashion now? And how do you think that we can maximize? Because now we are starting to see our Dires, our Bubos,
now coming back.
Now coming back. People are mixing it. You see foreigners also wearing them whenever they come. Do you think that it's time for African fashion or Nigerian fashion? And how can we make the most of this, the love that we're starting to get, exactly the move?
Afrobeats, it has shown that originality can pay off.
Authenticity.
Yeah, authenticity. I feel it is time, but the only setback, like I said, is compared to Afrobeats, I just have to go into the studio to produce one song, and I can sell that song to 10 million people. For fashion, I have to produce 10 million clothes to serve 10 million people. That's where the problem is. So how can they bridge that gap? So, I mean, in some other countries where creatives are really enjoying the proceeds of being creative, we have hubs or massive production centers that can amplify. All you have to do is create your design, break down the patterns, give them to production hubs. They'll give you a timeline, and you have like 10,000 of that product. You know,
but like for what China, they have those
exactly. But for here in Nigeria, in fact, some designers even have to now contact production centers in Turkey, in Nigeria, to do all of those that I'm mentioning now. So I think that's that's what is stopping us on being where we are meant to be in fashion, because we are there already. Creativity wise, we are there. You know, making massive statements, we are there. But it's just that bridge where we should be able to, I don't have to go through the stress of putting times 1 million efforts to serve 1 million people. You know, that's just it. And I think the government should be able to, they should be able to milk, there's a lot to milk in the fashion industry. A whole lot. Yeah. A whole lot.
I think that government plays a major role. Creating that infrastructure, helping out with that, because all of the machines are needed for mass production. Those processes, the hubs, the community, if it can be facilitated or pushed a bit by the government or by people, and then gradually too would have more private investors too that will also want to invest money, try and build stuff. Because our weddings is always commonly said now that there's no wedding like a Nigerian wedding. Like we just shut down everywhere.
That's the final say.
Yeah, it's an experience that everybody just wants to have, and then we are starting to see it really grow. Your wife is also in the same space, right? You're both fashion entrepreneurs, creative directors, doing cool stuff in the fashion space. So what has been the journey like, having your wife being in the same space? Have there been opportunities for collaboration? How do you manage working together and all of that?
It's going to be an unending collaboration now, for life, till eternity.
True.
Yeah, there's no separation. And I also need to mention, fashion brought us together. It was something I was wearing, that she saw, and
was she in fashion already then?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, but at some point, she came to meet me to teach her.
From teacher
to life teacher. So we have worked on a couple of weddings together, and we thank God that it's a space where there is a possibility of her getting a job from mine, and there's also a possibility of me getting a job too from hers. Sure, so there's in the loins of my own job, there is something that could also lead to hers, and that's already a collaboration, and we pray it never ends.
Amen. Beautiful. I still want to dig in a bit more now. Yeah, right. So at that moment when you guys maybe sketched us together, and I understand, right? Two people in the same space, are there clashes sometimes? How do you manage it?
Yes,
working out?
There will always be clashes, Like I said, okay, me, I have 10 things to do. Pick one, do,
and then get it done.
And I try to get it done excellently well. My wife is more of a multitasker than myself. On some days mine is a disadvantage. On some days too hers is also a disadvantage. So
on some days both advantages.
Both are advantages. Yeah. And I also mentioned from the initial stage, fashion is stressful, number one. Right? So we're now both into that same stressful stuff. Yeah.
So both of you can have similar projects that stresses both
so
of you.
The only good thing is we understand this is where it is coming from. I don't know what it would be if maybe she's not a fashion designer and I'm trying to project my problems and she's not getting, So there are days where we would collaborate together, like, this is what I want for my groom. And sometimes I would want something for my groom, and maybe she might have gone ahead to discuss something with the bride, and you didn't tell me. No, this is what I want. I want him to, I've envisaged this is what I want. I have to call back and, trying to convince my groom, and the wife is also a stakeholder in the wedding. Most times, if the wife, exactly, major stakeholder. So some days we have such a, but it's for the good at the end of the day. It's beautiful. For the good. Yeah.
You've talked about how it can be chaotic on some days. Obviously, it can also be very beautiful. The accomplishment, the money, seeing your groomsmen do beautifully well in their events and all of that. So through all of the highs and lows of your career or your journey in the fashion design space, and then maybe even in life, are there core beliefs or philosophies that help you or guide you through all of the highs and lows of your work, family, and life in general?
First, as a Nigerian, it is almost natural. We have that never say never spirit. It is almost an inborn thing for every Nigerian, and it's going to be deceitful to say there is no downtime or there is no rough time in any business whatsoever.
Sure.
Perseverance is needed. Like I said too, if you need physical mentors, work with those who are a step or two steps ahead of you. Well, you can still look at those ahead. So I have mentors I look at. It's not like they know me, right? But just seeing them online,
hearing them speak,
it is enough inspiration for me. Do you understand? I don't need to have a physical contact with them. So you can have all of those, right? Okay, you want this guy, you like this guy's job, fine. Have him as an inspiration, but still have someone who is ahead of you, maybe a step or two steps ahead of you, and get direct
Yeah.
Now it's going to be a dialogue, right? No longer a one-way,
You can ask
thing.
questions. They can say, "Oh, this is what I've done."
Yeah, the person
They
will
can
also tell you
critique.
his problem.
Yeah,
Do you
true.
understand? So, on the bad days, you ask yourself, what pushed me to this place in the first place? I think that should answer your question, because that would refuel you to, okay, you know what, never say never. And looking at those who are ahead, there's a Yoruba adage that say, you know, you don't look at the fine. You will thank God for how far
You've brought
come,
you and
right?
pick up the lessons.
Yes, but you keep on looking forward, keep on looking. Those who are ahead, they did it. I will also do it. So those are the things that, you know, those are the things that keeps fueling me personally. Then, you know, thank God my wife is also in the industry. On my down times, she's there for me. On her own down times, I'm there for her. And when two of us are down, we'll find one way or the other
to get each other up and go.
back. So that's it. Then also, I would also tell people, if you want to start out, this is my philosophy. Not a general, I'm not saying it's general, but I will advise. If you want to start out, as much as you want to start out from where you can, if you have a means, be it borrowed, to start just a little bit higher than where you want to, please do. I'll set an example. If you have, for example, 20 million and you want to start out now, and I also have 20 million, and I have access to my dad's fund, fine, I will return it to, and I have like, dad, please, I need 30 million to make my money 50 million. I will start out. I will make that money back. And you might have not, you that started with 20 million might not match up with what my revenue in some 2-3 years time, because the world is funny. The world is very hard for the world to see you in another perspective. You force them to see you, right? People call you what you call yourself first. So whatever you can do to because the business is all about perception, right? It's all about perception, like I said. So as much as you can, start where you can. But if there's still extra means to start a little bit higher from where you can, by all means, please do. As long as you know the craft, it can't be that bad. It can't be that. It is not an importation business that, you know, you put all your money into something and you just crash in the sea and you're back to zero. As long as you know the craft, it can't be bad.
Knowing your craft and then staying on it and like staying consistent, like would really help, especially in the down moment. So your career journey, your work, the work of the Vicky James of this world, of Nigeria, of this world, of Africa, the Shevodis, the Yomi Casuals, the Maya Tafos, have been showing that it's possible to build a solid business,
legacy.
Or exactly a legacy, not just even a business. So are there other things that you think that aspiring or growing or budding fashion designers, or just even designer or any young person in any creative field are there steps they should be taking, or are there mindsets that they should develop for them to be able to walk through all of the challenges and build solid stuff? So
this is also my opinion. When you want to start into fashion, fine. At the starting phase, you can do almost anything you find your hands on. That's totally fine. But to get to a stage, see, if you look at Maya Tafo, they have sub-products, they have main products. If I call Maya Tafo, there's something. If I say what does he do, there's something you will mention.
And pick him for.
If I call Shevodis, there's some. In fact, it got to an extent. If someone sends me a picture of an artist, I almost know who the designer is. You understand? So look at Prudential. You know, okay, those ones they do wedding gowns. Look at Vicky James too. Okay, bridals. In fact, the other you will see her craft. If you see her craft, you would almost know she's the one. Shevodis, that's the king of kaftan. You know, that's I forgot. That's also one of my mentors. You know, he has owned this space, and he found himself in a city where that's almost what everybody is wearing.
Yeah, and he has been consistent.
Consistency.
Can't take it away.
Consistency. In Abuja, it's as though they wear kaftan to work on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and the like. So, just start from where you can, like I said. but make sure you know the craft. Eventually, when you're growing, you would know by yourself what you are good at. Some people are into casual wears. Some are into wedding attires. Some are into street wears. So eventually, you would know that this is your main. You might still be doing the other ones, maybe by the side, but you would know that, okay, this is your main. Then now you know what to focus all your attention on. It can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. If you have found your main, right? I mean, the next thing is to focus maybe 70 to 80% on that, while the rest just are there for maybe bad days or something.
I think that's a very important lesson you just shared now. Yeah, when starting out, it's good to like be the generalist. Try out a lot of things, see the ones that you love, the one that you don't love, the one that comes natural. But as you spend more time in that field or in that space, you will start to find out where your major strength lies, and then it's good to like focus on that thing. And I think people always love that this person is very, very good on this thing, so that if they need to make that thing, they can always reach out to you, and then you'd deliver a great result. I'd love you to leave a word for maybe an engineering student in one higher institution that maybe studying engineering, geology, or maybe even project management like you, maybe in FUTA, right? And while at night they are sketching kaftans, they are sketching streetwears. What would you want to leave them with as regards what they are doing currently, starting out, building, thriving, even their studies?
My chief. That engineering student.
Or my lady too.
Okay. My lady. Or my chief / my chief. If you know within your heart, like I know I started with that phrase. If you know within your heart this is what you want to do, amongst all crafts in the world, you say na fashion you want to do, right? Keep at it. There's no end to creativity. It's not one of the jobs AI will take. It's right. It is an unending business. It's one of the 3 core things we call human needs or something: housing, shelter, and I can't remember. Okay, food. So there will forever be a market, and it can never be oversaturated. Never. So there's a market for you. But keep building your craft, and the world will hear about you soonest.
My chief, my lady, you heard, he has encouraged you, and then there's a word out there. Once you keep going, especially if that is what exactly you want, you'd find your own sweet spot. The opportunities will never. I think the market will just continue to grow bigger. Exactly. So in the next 10 to 20 years, what will success look like for you for Sevunteen Tailored? 10 to 20 years to
this is a word of faith for me, right? It's beyond you just asking me a question. It is me speaking, coming back to this video, maybe in some 20 years' time. By the special grace of God, I want to see myself even lesser than 20 years by the grace of God. You know, when you call those that are into, wedding designers in Lagos, in Nigeria, I would be a force to reckon with. You won't call some names and not find a way to slot my name in between. I speak it into existence. Yeah, by the grace of God.
Yeah, it would happen. We are rooting for you. And maybe that time too, we'll call you back again and say, yes, you said it, and then you are. It would happen. We are rooting for you. And fun fact, Sevunteen Tailored made my suit for my wedding, and his wife also made my wife's wedding dress. And
you Agbada too.
My Agbada too. So it's someone that you should also work with. Great relationship with clients. Very, very warm to clients. Excellent delivery on time. And then we've talked about it even over the podcast, to just making sure that he gives the best of work. So you're in good hands. Just like reach out to him, and then he's going to give you quality work. Is there anything you would love to end or say before we wrap up this episode?
Thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure. I'm not taking it for granted, right? Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody that has been part of my journey. My wife, even my daughter, she's disturbing while I'm creating.
Right? No, she's a wonderful. What you see
and for everybody that have done one mistake or two on their clothes too, they're also part of my journey, right? At the earlier stage. Thank you so much. Thank you, and we achieve great things together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Olanrewaju Akinsiku. Awesome. Sevunteen Tailored. It's been an amazing conversation. I look forward to doing cool stuff with you.
Amen.
Yeah, even much more than now. Thank you so much for watching, maybe on YouTube or listening on any of your favorite audio platforms. I'm sure you've learned one or two things that will continue to bring top and amazing people doing cool stuff in their space to also inspire you, educate you, and let you know that great things are possible from small places. Yeah. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.